Welcome back to the Loss Prevention News Network. Thanks for joining us, Joe LaRocca. I'm Amber Bradley, and we have a special guest with us today.
We have Dan Santell, who's the CEO of Captis Intelligence. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Dan, you probably know, looking at the National Retail Security Survey, shrink at $46 billion nationwide, the challenges that retailers are facing and working not just in their own company to reduce shrink, but then partnering with other organizations and law enforcement entities. There is absolutely a need to share information, and I know you are uniquely qualified to talk about this topic and how to bring that information together. Can you tell us a little bit about Captis Intelligence and what you're all about?
Sure. We are basically focused on suspect identification, and out of that, some deterrence effect, because if a criminal knows he's going to be identified, he won't rob a store. So basically what we do is we pool lots of information, and we do facial recognition off of a database of 20 million criminals, so that we can notify the retailer who the suspect is. If they can't identify him that way, we have an audience from our website of 35 million people worldwide that will look at crime videos and will basically give us anonymous tips.
Okay, so you, as a retailer, I have an incident take place in my store. I'm using your system to match up against an existing pool of offenders, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and then if nothing matches there, somebody else is looking at crimes in the community to see if there's a recognition, is that?
Yeah, so basically the first step is they can upload an image to our database, and we tell them within seconds whether we have a match on the 20 million criminals we have in our database. With that information is actually a dossier of the person, addresses, things like that, aliases. If there is no match, then they could put it on our solveacrime.com site, and we then basically publicize it across dozens of conduits in a specific geographic area, and that tends to generate tips. So right now we're identifying about 55% of suspects from solveacrime.com. Once we get facial recognition going, we believe we'll identify basically almost every suspect of a crime.
It's fantastic. You raised an interesting topic, which is facial recognition. And over the pre-2018, facial recognition was one of those topics most people didn't want to talk about. Retailers have been doing facial recognition. Casinos, banks, law enforcement agencies have been doing it for years, you know. This year, it seems like it's okay for us to talk about. So since you've opened up the box, let's talk about facial recognition. I have an iPhone. I have my Face ID.
Here he goes. Wait. He was on his soapbox earlier today about this. I'm excited for it. Here we go.
It works 80% of the time. Facial recognition can be somewhat of a challenge. Now I have consumer-grade technology. Of course, you have the good toys. That I always want good toys, right? How far until we get to that place where facial recognition becomes that usable that we think general pop? It's not somebody in just a controlled database, that we can do facial recognition and start looking for repeat offenders and that type of stuff.
We can do that now. Facial recognition is only as good as two things: the angle of the camera, so that they get a good enough picture of the face, and then the reference database that you have to compare the picture to. If you have no database, you can't match it.
And where do you think, how far out do you think we are to having that level of quality within the retail industry?
I would guess we're doing pilots now, I would guess within 18 months.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Much quicker than I thought you were going to say.
Well, the cameras are there now. Our database is there now. I mean, we'll have 50 million criminals in our database probably by the end of the year. So it's going to be pretty hard for people to hide, actually, from us.
Right.
And so you're a relatively newcomer to NRF Protect and the LP industry specifically as a whole. So tell us, how does it work? Like if I'm a retailer and I say, okay, Captis, like I'm ready to do this, I want to dive into facial recognition. Do I buy cameras from you, or I'm just subscribing to your database, or how does it work?
For facial recognition, you just subscribe to our database. We integrate with existing cameras, and assuming that they're at the right angle and can catch the right picture or they're high enough quality, then you just start feeding us pictures. and we start feeding you messages back.
So the technology is very easy to integrate with technology. If I have existing hardware that I'm not ready to rip out and invest in new hardware or new cameras, so it's easy to integrate in existing infrastructure.
It's very easy. Our system is completely cloud-based. You don't have to install any hardware. You just have to. Most cameras have multiple feeds now, so you just send one feed to us, and we start sending you messages.
Awesome.
Neat. So, Dan, Amber has a history of putting people on what we call the hot seat. And since you're here and you're new, this is ideal waters for her.
This is my thing, man. I don't know. So, yes, that's right, because we have new victims, participants every year into the hot seat. So this year we're doing something a little different because we like to change it up. It is the actual lightning round, okay? So you have had no prior knowledge of the lightning round, and we're going to go through this. So I'll give you the choices. It's just you pick one, okay? And you're all mic'd up, so we don't even have to do this, which gets really intense, okay? So, all right, you ready?
Ready?
Okay, the buzzer's gonna go, and then our timer's gonna kick down here. Okay, ready?
Go.
Okay, Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
Friends or 90210?
Friends.
Seinfeld or Will and Grace?
Seinfeld.
LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
Oh, nice. Jason Bourne or James Bond?
Bourne.
Angelina Jolie or Jennifer Aniston?
Angelina Jolie.
Sugar or Splenda?
I don't drink coffee
Oh.
or tea.
Beach or lake?
Beach.
Facebook or LinkedIn?
Facebook.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Orange or Apple?
Orange.
Golf or tennis?
Ooh. Golf.
Oh. Jet ski or boat?
Boat. Big boat.
Oh, he's going yacht, I think, on that one. You made it through the lightning round.
Hey.
That's pretty awesome. For a first timer, I would say you are just not, there are no beads of sweat at all. He's just like flying through this thing, which is awesome. So,
but we did learn that he plays tennis and golf.
That was a tough one. And what about, so you already mentioned, you said Seinfeld instead of Will and Grace. Okay, so we're going to follow up on that one. George or Kramer?
Ugh.
Next.
Next. Or Jerry or Elaine?
Elaine.
Heidi Klum or Seal?
Amber.
Heidi.
I'm just talking about which team are you on? That's all.
Yanni or Laurel? No, it's okay. Both.
Both. I'll just say both.
You're the one with Joe where here's them both. It's crazy. I don't even get it. It makes no sense to me.
Was it a red? What were the dresses? A blue dress or
Blue and
blue
silver.
or gray or blue or silver?
Yeah.
It never makes sense.
How about internet or typewriter? Typewriter.
I never learned how to type, so probably internet.
Better privacy.
Horse-drawn carriage or car?
Car, although horse-drawn carriage is faster in most cities now.
You do live in LA. See, you're a fellow Californian with Joe here, out of the People's Republic of California. That's pretty cool.
I'm not going there.
See, I couldn't even get them. Let's see, people's rights or dog rights?
Talk to me in November. That's all I have to say.
Cyclist rights or pedestrians' rights. Not going there either.
See, it's like they're from another country, these
She is
Californians.
goading me all day.
I'm
She's
trying.
goading
I'm
me
trying
into
to
the
pull him
election
in. Trying to
discussion
pull him
for
in.
November.
Pretty obvious.
Yes. You know what I've been trying to goad him into is at least give me one movie quote. Just one. Do you have one? Are you a movie quoter?
No.
No.
I'll be back.
See? If you have a whiteboard,
Classic
I have
movie
like
quote.
30. He's got one. Joe,
Zero.
zero.
think of any
Steph.
other.
The force be with you.
Yeah. Oh
Right?
my God, he did it!
Sure.
Yay! So we're all on the board with the movie quotes. I dig that.
She's
See?
got like 30 of them.
I do. My
Go.
brain is full of it. I don't know. It's useless information.
Give me two.
2 movie quotes?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
See, you're putting me on the spot, which is just crazy. You complete me.
Oh, God.
That's
You asked
the
for
worst.
this.
I know.
My
Look,
friend, you asked for
I'm
this.
reaching into
What's
the
the other one?
worst
You had
movies
me
of
at-
the world.
you had me at
You had
hello.
me at hello. First
There
of
you
all,
go.
Jerry Maguire sucks. So thank you though, because
Show me-
Captis
show
doesn't.
me the money. Jerry
We
Maguire does
appreciate.
not suck.
Help
Show me
me
the
help
money.
you.
Show me the
I'm
money.
just kidding. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful episode with Captis and Joe LaRocca. Thanks for watching LPNN.